What's up, Grognard? Sam here. I am very excited today because I'm going to be talking about a game that, as soon as it was announced, I was super stoked for. It's been a passion of mine for a very long time, and we didn't really know exactly what was going to happen with this release, to be frank. Especially knowing that the company that produces the game sometimes can be a little stingy, especially if you're not carrying a lot of their products to begin with. And so we were really worried as to whether or not we would be able to get any, how much we would be able to get, what kind of community support we'd be able to have right out of the gate. Luckily, we were able to get not everything we ordered, but we were certainly able to get quite a bit. And I think we're going to be okay when it comes to starter decks and booster packs. There's one product that unfortunately is going to be a little elusive, and we knew this, and already they're starting to climb on the secondary market. But it's just the way things go with a new release, especially of this magnitude. And of course, the game I'm talking about is Gundam, the Gundam TCG. This is again something that I have been a fan of for a very long time. I got into Gundam by way of Robotech in the early '90s, and actually had the Gundam movies, the three films that were released from the original series, editing the original series together with some new footage here and there. Back in like 98, 99, when they came out on VHS in the United States for the first time. I loved those. I had the novel, which is pretty dark. Not that the show wasn't dark enough, but the novel's even darker. And then, started watching some of the other series and side series. Of course, Gundam Wing was huge when I was, kind of in those later high school, early college years, and have just been a fan ever since. And I got into Gunpla maybe about, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago. And that was something that I loved. And it's actually how I ended up getting into miniature wargaming, because I thought, oh, I'm really enjoying building these plastic models. Maybe it'll be fun to play games with them. So I'll check this Warhammer thing out. And I'd read a couple of Horus Heresy novels, and that kind of just started me down the path, the path to the dark side. In fact, recently I picked up some Gunpla again. I hadn't in a while. So I've got nice little GM here from, I believe, the MS-08 team, which I love. That's one of my favorite Gundam shows. I think that is just, it's such a wonderful, wonderful show. But when this was announced, we were shortly after, well, not shortly after, but when they were kind of building a lot of the hype for it, Gamma in Louisville was one of the first places that we really got kind of a hands-on experience with the game and got to have direct conversations with folks at Bandai. And the line for the demo for the game was so long that had I joined it when I got there, I still would not have been playing the game 2.5 hours later. So if that tells you anything, it should tell you enough to know that this is something that people are really looking forward to. I know we've had some pre-orders and reservations in the store already. It does come out on July the 11th. That's this Friday. You can purchase the starter decks only. Boosters actually will not come out for another 2 weeks after that. So stay tuned for more information. We will be doing some in-store events for it. We will not be doing a starter deck event for it. We will have casual play in the store. We will have product in the store. We will have, of course, all four of the starter decks, and we will have a very, very, very limited supply of the Gundam Assemble starter decks. The only difference between the regular starter decks and the Assemble starter decks is that the Assemble starter decks do come with 3 miniatures that will be usable in Gundam Assemble when that drops next year. As far as we know, the miniatures that are in this box are no different from the miniatures that will be available in 2026. These are just kind of like preview tokens, models that you can use, in the card game. The latest tutorial, I believe, on the Gundam TCG website actually has an example of sort of how to use these models in game should you choose to, but they're just tokens. There's no special effect for them or anything like that. One of the things that happened when I was at Gamma that was super cool is that when I was talking with the folks at Bandai, and I kind of, told them my experience with Gundam and how long I'd been a fan, and, building Gunpla and all that sort of stuff, they gave me something. And I know for a fact not a lot of people got these, and I felt very lucky to get one. It was I couldn't believe they were giving me one, honestly. And I just I felt like if there was ever a time to kind of show it off, this would be it. So it came in this box, very kind of nondescript, just cardboard box with a handle at the top. Head on over here to our Grognard Games mat, and I have yet to put this together for a number of reasons, but I did kind of take it out. It doesn't really have to be put together, but it is pretty amazing. It is basically a Principality of Xeon ammo crate that doubles as a case for cards, for whatever you want to put into it. Like I said, I have not even taken this out of the plastic yet, but this thing is pretty special to me, pretty amazing, and I figured if there was ever a time to kind of show it off, I would do that. But they were so kind to give this to me, and it's certainly something that is appreciated a great deal. So huge shout out to Bandai. Shout out to the folks there for being so generous and so kind. But that's not why you're here. Let's face it. You're here because you want to see some Gundam cards. So let's see some Gundam cards. And I'm going to hold off. I do have an Assemble set here, and we'll get to that in a minute. But first, let's go ahead and take a look. Crack one of these starter decks open. I have all 4 of them. We will kind of go through them. We're not going to spend a lot of time with the cards. We're just going to kind of take a look. This is Heroic Beginnings. This includes cards from both the original Gundam series as well as The Witch from Mercury, which was the latest series. Highly recommend it. I thought it was fantastic. Really enjoyed Witch from Mercury quite a bit. There's a little tape here, so we're just going to get the old hobby knife out and just slice through this tape. So if you're excited about the Gundam game, let us know in the comments. Again, we're going to be supporting the game. We are going to have events for the game. We're super excited to be able to do that. Set 2 in particular is when we'll really be able to up our support. But in the meantime, we're very, very excited to be able to carry product, at least for the game. That is gorgeous right off the bat. So within the starter deck, you get you get obviously your starter deck clearly here. You also get a play mat. If you're familiar with Bandai games at all, none of this is going to come out of the blue for you. Your play mat will of course show you kind of all the areas for your cards. It gives you a great tutorial on everything as well. Rules are on the back showing you how to play. The game is plays very simple, very easy. If you've ever played any Japanese TCGs before, you pretty much already have an idea of how this game plays. It's easy to pick up. There's definitely lots of skill involved, but I think it'll be a lot of fun. So let's just take a look at the RX-78 right here. That is absolutely gorgeous. That foil treatment is amazing. It is etched, so basically the panels, I don't know if it's coming off on the camera, the panels of the Gundam are actually kind of like etched onto here. It's sort of a slight emboss. You can feel it. It's amazing. That card is just out of this world cool. Oh my gosh, and the aerial is even cooler. This is one of the coolest looking cards that I have ever seen, period. This card is amazing, and the camera is definitely not going to do it justice. This is one of the coolest things I have ever seen, literally in hand. Yeah, you have to. Anybody who plays TCGs, you have to see this card. This card is absolutely stunning. Wow. Okay, all right. Here's the Gundam MA form, which of course is the linked form with the ship. So naturally in Japanese TCGs, oftentimes what you do is you buy 2 starter decks in order to get full play sets of all the cards included. You're going to have lots of doubles if you do that, and of course we've got limited supply, so we might not necessarily be able to support that completely. I love you get the white base team here in full. So again, there's the MA form, but you got the gun cannon, and then you got the gun tank. As well as some GMs as well. But the original series, the white base team of the gun cannon, gun tank, and Amuro, of course, in the RX-78 is just I got some more Gundam Aerial here, bit on form, looking very cool, stunning art. I would expect nothing less. The Demi Trainer The Zawart, very, very cool. Um, some cards have skills like blocker, some are supports. Here we get into our pilots. So pilots, are great. I mean, you had to do this, right? In a game like Gundam, the cool thing is basically your pilot, will slot underneath your Gundam, and now they're piloting. They're giving your Gundam a buff. They've got certain triggers here. When paired, choose one enemy unit with 5 or less HP, rest it. Some Gundams can only be piloted by certain pilots, so that will be, of course, denoted on the Gundam card. So pilots here, we got Amuro, of course. How could you not? And then, of course, Suletta Mercury from Mercury. But yeah, just so cool, so cool. There's Kobayashi Hayato. We get Kai Shiden. Yes, this is great. I mean, this is really kind of taking me back. I mean, I watched the 0078. Gosh, when was the last time I watched it? Maybe 8 years ago. I think it was before my daughter was born, so it would have been about 7 years ago. Unforeseen incident. These are command cards. These are going to be like your sorceries instance, etc. The phases of the game are very interesting, give you lots of opportunities to play cards like this, so there's lots of interaction in the game, which is super cool. Your base cards, so base cards are also very interesting because basically you start off with like a token base no matter what, but you can then play bases. Of course, they do cost resources to kind of give you more strength, give you certain buffs, that sort of thing. Burst is a important keyword. That's something that when people are targeting your shields after a base has been destroyed. These cards, of course, represent your shield. They're face down. As you flip them over, then if they have burst, you get to do whatever it says on the card right away. Again, that's a fairly common Japanese TCG mechanic. I didn't even take a look at the back of these cards. The back of these cards are amazing. The spot varnishing on them looks incredible. The panel here, it looks like it's just this soft piece of onion skin, and it really makes everything pop. It's yeah. Again, this is some of Bandai's finest work as far as I'm concerned. I mean, the One Piece TCG looks amazing. Don't get me wrong, but holy mackerel, this is incredible. I am so excited to get this game on the table. I have not had a chance to play it in person yet, so really looking forward to doing that. And you got your resource cards. Your resource cards, of course, are going to be. You got your base token. You got your EX resources. You got your token. These are token cards. So these are actually, even though this is the RX-78, right? It's not the same as the other RX-78. There are opportunities depending on command cards, bases, other interactions and stuff to put tokens into play. And so these are your token cards for those. It's just the white base team. And then, of course, you got a handy little token packet here in the starter deck as well. I mean, look, I was already sold on this because I'm a huge fan of Gundam, but this is out of this world. I still think this Gundam Ariel is one of the coolest cards I have ever seen. I mean, the way that the foiling works and the etching, it's just unreal. So again, that is the Heroic Beginnings set. And of course, we also get our bonus pack. There's only one card in here. It is one of 16 cards with a special treatment on it. You get an alternate holographic version of one of the starter deck cards. So let's open this up and see what we get, shall we? One of these comes in every starter deck pack. So Unforeseen Incident, again, gorgeous card. Obviously an Amuro or one of the big Gundams would have been super cool. But this is still a beautiful card. I love the spot varnishing. I love the foiling. It looks great. Again, Bandai does such a wonderful job with these cards. I mean, again, some of the One Piece cards that I've seen that I own are on par, of course, with anything like this. But the Gundam game, it feels like they've even kicked it up a notch. And why not? This is the property for Bandai in so many ways. So that's the Heroic Beginnings starter. Let's go ahead and jump into one of these other ones. And of course, we might as well just do Zeon's Rush, which makes the most sense after doing that Heroic Beginnings. We'll do a little slice and a little slice. Definitely want to hear what folks are most excited about for the Gundam game. Tell me about your experience with Gundam. Tell me about, if you have memories of watching Gundam when you were younger, or if you're coming to this not necessarily being a fan of Gundam, but just want to try something new. Yeah. Oh, this is Nanju. This is going to be super cool. Of course, the Zeon Um, were the Xeon right? I don't know. You tell me. Let me know in the comments below. So anyway, let's take a look and see what we got here. Again, just an absolutely gorgeous card, gorgeous treatment. It's a little tighter than the last one. There we go. All right, so we got the Sinanju here. During pair, this unit gains high maneuver. High maneuver is basically their evasion. When a card has high maneuver, they can't be blocked. Again, the etching on this is so cool. The foiling is amazing. They've really nailed it here with the Sinanju. It looks fantastic. Of course, you got two of those. Then you got Char's Zaku. It's Charzaku. It's amazing. It looks great, but compared to the others that we've seen, I'm a little underwhelmed by this. I wanted Charzaku to really pop, and this is gorgeous. This is gorgeous. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say it's bad, but we got Angelo's Garazulu here. Um, Very cool. And then again, we're going to get four of those. We got the Garazulu, so we're going to get four of these. And then we got the Gaza D, which I think we're going to get three of. Yes. And then we got the Aura C, or the Drasi, excuse me, which we also got three of. We got three Zaku 1s. We got four Zaku 2s. We got the Koff, yes. I love that mech so much. It's one of my favorite builds that I ever did, actually. We got the full frontal here. Looking very cool. When paired, you may deploy one Neo Xeon unit card that is level 4 or lower from your hand. You'll notice that these cards do have a level up in the top. So just kind of probably denoting, how strong they are, obviously. And for those, there's our Char. Very cool. And we have four of those. And then we got our command cards. Indignation. Choose one friendly unit. It gets AP +2 during this turn. Close combat. It's also got the burst. Activate this card's main. The main action is choose one enemy unit, deal 2 damage to it. So pretty strong there. The Blue Giant. Loving that. Rambaral. Again, these cards are interesting because they can be used both as a command card with an action on them or a pilot card. So I love the fact that you've got some choices to make depending on how you want to use those cards. We got our base here, and then our resource cards, and then here we go. We got Charzaku. I almost like this art a little bit better than the one that's on the Charzaku foil card. We got the Zaku 2, then we got our token sheet. Yeah, this is just so cool. I mean, again, if you're a fan of Gundam, and you want to play a TCG, go for it. This just is hitting that spot for me without a doubt. And I think more than I don't want to say more than Final Fantasy did, because Final Fantasy rocked my world, but this is pretty damn cool. And I think the thing about Final Fantasy is there's a Final Fantasy TCG. I could have sought that out, right? But the fact that it was Final Fantasy Magic, I think, is what did it for me. So standing on its own, I'm so stoked about this. All right, let's see what a special card is, and it's the close combat. Again, these just look so freaking cool. All right, we're gonna do a little bit of a speed through here. We'll do the Seed Strike next. This is Gundam Seed. Is the theme on this particular deck. The other two decks kind of had a combination of Gundam series that they were using, but this one, I believe. Yeah, so this is just Gundam Seed, whereas the Heroic Beginnings was both Witch from Mercury and the OG. This one is just Seed. So let's take a quick look at these and see what we got in our bonus pack as well. Look at that. Got the Ailey Strike Gundam. Looking very cool. Again, nothing beats the Witch from Mercury so far. That card is one of my favorite cards ever, period. Done. Let's see here. And then we got the Aegis Gundam, also looking very cool. Foiling treatment is amazing. We got the Gundam Strike. We got the Mobius Zero. We got the Mobius. The Strike Dagger, looking very cool. And then we got our Aegis Gundam MA model. the Mobile Assault. Then we got the Jin looking very cool. Loving that artwork. Miguel's Jin. Very nice. We got Kira Yamamoto. If you've not seen Seed, I think Seed is great. Seed is kind of a thinly veiled retelling of Wing in some ways. They have a lot in common. Much like Double O was a bit of a retelling of 0078. So yeah, but there's Kira, who's our protagonist from Seed. Athern Zala, very cool. Striker Pack, getting into our command cards. Hawk of Idamam, also Mula Flaga. Then we got Miguel here with Magic Bullet of Dusk. Choose one friendly unit that is level 2 or lower. It gains first strike during this turn. First strike is exactly what you think it is. It's just, it's the old magic keyword basically. There's the Archangel. Very nice. We got the Vesalius. Our resources and our tokens for the Early Strike, the Launcher Strike, and the Sword Strike Gundam. And then our actual physical tokens at the back. So very, very cool. Again, representing a one of the newer series, not as new as Witch from Mercury, obviously, but one of the newer series. Let's take a look at our Seed Strike holo foil here. I did go a little out of order. Technically, this is the 4th deck, but whatever. And look at that. We got the Aegis MA model. That's looking very cool. Liking that a lot. Put that there. Now we'll move on over to the Wings of Advance. I imagine this is one that, some folks will be very much looking forward to. Obviously Gundam Wings still very, very popular. And I think for a certain generation, that's kind of like the Gundam series for them. And Gundam Wing is, I think it's a great series. It has some issues. It lags a little bit here and there, but overall, I do think that it's incredibly well done. I think the mech designs are awesome, and I think that the story ultimately is fantastic. So, all right, let's see here, and that's just compared to other Gundam. I'm not trying to say that it's bad by any means, but just compared to some other Gundam that I've seen, it's So let's take a look at what's in Wings of Advance. Right off the bat, of course, we have the iconic Wing Gundam. Again, a Gundam model that if you are of a certain age, you will no doubt have seen some point in time at some store that you've been in, on some magazine, on some t-shirt somewhere. And if you're a fan of the show, then obviously. But again, looking very cool. Still nothing beating the Witch from Mercury, in my opinion. But yeah, and then there's the Tall Geese. Tall Geese is also looking great. We got the Wing Gundam in bird mode. We got the Gundam Heavy Arms. Gundam Sandrock. The Maganak. Oops. We got the Leos. Very nice. The Aries. Tregos. And there's Hero Yui. Hero, of course, is our hero of Gundam Wing. He's got the burst ability, so if you pull this off of one of your shields when it gets destroyed, you can use him right away, or you can add him to your hand right away. Yeah. During Link, this unit gets AP +1, HP +1 as well. So really, really nice buff there for Gundam Wing when you first use it. We got Zex Marquise. Simultaneous Fire with Troa on there. We've got Peaceful Timber with Quatra. We've got Siege Ploy, the St. Gabriel Institute, Corsica Base, naturally, resources, and then we have tokens for the Leo and the Tall Geese, and then our actual tokens there as well. Let's take a look and see what we've got in our bonus pack. So yeah, I think that ultimately, this set is definitely a winner for me. Siege Ploy looking very cool. Love the way that they've done the treatment on that one. Yeah, I really want to get this on the table, see how it plays. I have a feeling I will like it. I liked One Piece a lot, and this hits all the right spots for me. I'm just such a huge fan of Gundam, Gunpla, and I think that I'm eager to see what the rules for Gundam Assemble will look like, because that could easily be a miniature game that I will get into. Speaking of, here we go. I only have one of these to show off because we got such a limited amount. This is my own personal copy. I got to buy one and only one. Even employees had to live by the rules on this one. So I was only allowed to buy one. That is the rule for anyone. You're only allowed to buy one, not one of each, just one period. I did choose Heroic Beginnings. And I mean, the Amuro's Gundam, the gun cannon, the gun tank, that Witch from Mercury card. Obviously, I am so excited to crack this open, to take a look at the sprues, and then to get building and painting on these. And put them on the table. So the starter deck is exactly the same. So I'm not going to go through that. I will open the bonus pack just to see what we get. And then I will, of course, also take a look at the sprues here for the Gundam Assemble models. As I slice this thing open here, I think that's all I needed to do. The boxes obviously are bigger, and this is what it's going to look like coming out of the package. So we got nice little plastic carton here. I'm pretty sure my card is not in good shape in that, but that's okay. And then you have Gundam Assemble kind of advertising here. I don't imagine this is anything other than what we already know about. Yeah, it's just basically letting you know that it's coming. It'll be out next year. We got like looks like some D10 on there, or D8s maybe. And then a little advertisement for Gunpla as well. And then, oh, this is cool. So this is the team rules for the game, which allows 3 or more players to battle. And then, of course, your assembly instructions for the models. And basically, the way that these models are used is you place them on top of those token cards I showed you earlier. They represent the token, and it's just kind of a fancy way to go about doing that. Again, this deck is absolutely no different from the deck that we already had earlier. I will go ahead and just show that to you. I can get the sleeve off. So it's exactly the same. The foiling, I'm telling you, that is the coolest looking card I've ever seen. I just love it. So yeah, so it's exactly the same. Again, some people like to get 2 of those so that they can have full play sets of everything. Of course, you're going to have more than a full play set of a few of those cards, obviously, because you're getting 3 and 4 of a lot of cards in there. It's really just for the core cards. And then let's go ahead and take a look at this. If you're experienced with Gunpla, the bag is pretty much exactly the same. The runners look almost exactly the same. So this is, again, if you have any experience doing Gunpla, you're going to be very familiar with this. The feel of the plastic is pretty much the same. Yeah, everything about this, if you're familiar with Gunpla, you know what you're getting. There are your bases. And then here are the actual runners. So here's the gun cannon. It's looking very cool, very nice sculpt. It was so strange for me at first. I was like, well, why do I want minis? I have my Gunpla. Why can't I use that? And maybe there will be options and opportunities to do that. But I have to admit, the sculpting that they've done is very, very nice. It looks great. Lots of detail. Painting these up will be a lot of fun. I think that if you're a fan of something like BattleTech or whatever, painting these is not going to be any different from that. I mean, they're even, individually, they're kind of the same size as like a Space Marine. So they look great. I'm thrilled about this. I cannot wait to get these built and painted, to use them. Can't wait to find out more about Gundam Assemble. I'm so excited about that. We forgot here. Let's just see what we got. Obviously, if it's Witch from Mercury, that's amazing, but I don't think it's going to be. I think it's probably going to be... Oh! Wow. That's amazing. Okay. I could not be happier with that, to be honest with you. As a fan of the OG series, as a fan of the Granddad, amazing. Amazing. That is gorgeous. And yeah, stoked for that. So, um, I can't wait for you guys to see these cards in person if you haven't had the chance to already. They're absolutely incredible. Again, it's kind of what you expect from Bandai. They do such a wonderful job with all of their games. This is no exception. These cards are fantastic. You can pick them up in store beginning on Friday, July the 11th. come in and enjoy. Again, we are limiting it because we got such a small number. For the Gundam Assemble kits, you may only get one. You can choose any of the series you want, but only one. You can only get 2 starters total, and that Assemble will actually go towards that. Again, that's not 2 of each, that's just 2 starters, period. So if you wanted to do, for instance, if you wanted to do the thing where you get 2 of the same starter, to get full play sets of everything, you could do 1 heroic beginnings Assemble kit and 1 heroic beginnings starter deck, or you could do 2 Seed Strike starter decks and not do the Assemble stuff at all. But that's just the way we're handling it because we did get such a limited supply. We want everybody to have the chance. Again, I bought that Assemble kit myself. I only got to pick one. I couldn't buy the others. I wanted to, but again, even for employees, it was limited. And it's just we're trying to make sure that these get into as many hands as possible for the people that want to play them, including myself. So I can't wait to sit down at the table with you and play the Gundam card game. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're excited about, and stay tuned for more details on booster packs. I will absolutely be cracking some booster packs once those arrive for the channel, and you'll be able to, of course, pick those up in store beginning on July 25th. So thank you all so much for joining. I'm hyped about this. I'm excited about this. It's going to be amazing. Let's get the Gundam card game community going and growing at Grognard Games. We will have stock at all locations. The stock at Algonquin might be very limited, but Batavia and Roselle will certainly have set 1, and set 2 will have, at all 3 locations. So in the meantime, take care of yourselves, take care of one another, stay safe out there, and always, always roll responsibly.